much experience with true parents everywhere. But he said, no, you got it. So, but yeah, I decided to really trust that God will speak to all of us. And when I was preparing, I found a lot of speeches, right, especially True Mother's speeches, and we know they're never that long. And I realized that she doesn't really explain a lot about cosmic responsibility or again providential meaning, but she always speaks very simply. And the things she talks about are actually portraying again our everyday life, our relationships with each other. So I thought to truly try to touch upon the most important meaning of this day, what it can mean to us, to our everyday life. Yeah. So, but definitely the idea was that it's a new beginning, right? We have an era of Channel Book, and if you see the calendar, our church calendar, when we were making our calendar, we put them together, usual earthly calendar and the heavenly calendar, and it is confusing what year it is, what day it is, right? So eventually I think we will catch up with the heavenly calendar. It takes some time, but the idea, yeah, that it's 14th year of Channel Book, right? So it was a new beginning. But when we talk about it, that Foundation Day is a beginning, yeah, I felt like, again, reading True Mother's words, I realized that what she's talking about, that it's not just a date, it's not a ceremony, right? It was about this important thing that she again talks over and over again, that about creating an environment in which Heavenly Parent can talk. Very simple. But what does it mean? Create environment. Yeah. What we're talking about when we're talking about environment. That environment, mostly what she means, and we know that's what each one of us appreciates, is the heart, the atmosphere, not buildings or structures or other grand things. Yeah. And it's the spiritual atmosphere where Heavenly Parent feels welcome. And it's the place where people feel seen, safe, and loved. And True Mother also told in one of her speeches that if we do not create that environment, Foundation Day cannot take root. And the soil must be prepared before something holy can grow. So, and yeah, I was thinking about it deeply. What does it mean? What does it mean if we are creating this environment, right? And to me, again, environment is relationships. Yeah? What kind of relationships we have with ourselves and with people around us. So recently I was surprised to tears in my little personal sharing. I hope it, again, I'm not trying to just talk about myself, but I realized how important it is for other people. So I was working on youth program GPA for quite a few years together with my husband. It started as just me wanting to support him, but then I kind of found my own place there. Because yeah, when I was trying to help him and watch what he's doing, I realized, yeah, this place has a lot of masculine energy, a lot of strong men who went through so much, and they can discipline you and they can help you to find God through difficulties. But I felt like, oh, how about the embrace, especially looking at the girls? I'm like, I just want to hug them and tell them it's okay. He looks scary, but it's okay. He actually loves you, right? So I started helping, and eventually I kind of wiggled my way into being a staff. But yeah, since my husband retired, I felt like I just want to follow him, and also I got this beautiful position to be here in front of you and with you. So I kind of quietly left because I couldn't really put it together and do two things at the same time. But apparently they didn't forget about me, and a couple days ago they sent me a nice digital card. So different people said what they appreciated about me. It was very moving. But couple of these uh, testimonies really moved me because again, I felt kind of so bad because especially one kid, I don't even remember exactly our conversation. What did I tell him? You know, there were a lot of them, but he wrote such a amazing thing, and a couple times he said, "You changed my life." And I'm like, "Sorry, honey, you're getting ahead of yourself. I don't know what I did, right?" But then when I looked closely, he said, "You were one of the first people who actually listened to me, listened to what I wanted to say, and not just gave me guidance." And he said, "Apparently, I have this dream, and you were the one who really supported me." And I started trying to think, what was his dream? Oh yeah, he wanted to be a professional soccer player. And of course, yeah, when you're on a program dedicated to spiritual life, everybody is like, yeah, soccer player. Now go fundraising. Right? So apparently it was so important for him, and he felt that somebody validated it. Yeah. So that's why I feel like, yeah, create an environment and how important it is for people, because it means listening, it means showing up, it means offering grace, and it means serving quietly and loving consistently. And the idea again that when people feel truly seen, that they feel being loved without judgment, and when somebody experiences patience, right, that somebody is patient with them instead of maybe rightfully so being annoyed with them, they feel like something is different. I feel something special. And that's how I believe people truly start to encounter Heavenly Parents' love. Right? Because that's what we're supposed to experience being with our parents. And we know, again, we have all kinds of experiences in our own families, and a lot of times we could not experience this unconditional parental love. That's why, yeah, God kept trying again to bring people on earth who could grant this love to people, and they can experience it. And that's why that's the most important tool of witnessing. Again, that's what I believe, and that's what I try to practice in my life, right? That a lot of times we thought the witnessing means teaching, right? Talking, giving people lectures, educating them, right? But the fact is, again, that people notice love and realize love through this consistent care. And that's why I truly believe that if people feel it from us, that they cannot help but feel, what is it about you? Why are you like that? Right? And then they would start coming and wanting to be part of what we're doing. And in one of her speeches right before Foundation Day, Trumada said those words that I think are very beautiful, and I wanted to ask my husband to read them for us. Sorry, I know you cannot see so well.
Unification Church originated from divine spirit and truth. The years have passed, our church has grown, and our members have matured based upon truly loving heart. In the beginning, when Father was ministering, whenever members came to the church, they never wanted to leave. They wanted to stay with true parents, even if it meant staying up all night. If there was anything true Father wanted done, members wanted to do it for him spontaneously, without being asked. That was the life of faith our members led back then. Though ours was a small church, it was overflowing with love. Everyone was united, and we overcame the most difficult of times.
Yeah, so I thought this is such a beautiful word, and that's what Trumada keeps talking to us about, again, this creative environment, and that's what it means to her, going back to the early church, right? That people were not following out of pressure. They were moved by heart, and they longed to be in the presence of true parents, and they wanted to serve. So spirit was created, and that's how people felt. Yeah, and like she says, even though it was a small church, there was so much love. Yeah, and I'm sure all of you heard those stories that the negativity started, and a lot of times families of people who were joining the church would get so upset and try to keep them home, but they would like do crazy things, right? Escape at the night, at the night, right? Or some other things to just be there, where they felt this love. Yeah, and again, this whole idea that it was a small, humble church, and we know the first church that Father created, it was a mud house. But somehow, so it was not about buildings, not about structure, was not about grand appearance, but it was about love that people felt being there. And that's what I believe Trumada is talking about, right? When she asked us to revive the same spirit. Yeah, and I believe again, if I understand her correctly, that's what she means again as a mother. Love first, and then teaching will follow. Right? When people trust us, when people feel like again we really care for them, it would be natural for them to believe us and to ask for our advice, right? And that's when we can find this opportunity to follow or to teach them. But also there was another very, very important thing that your mother did right before coming up to Foundation Day. And when I was looking through the materials, I found this beautiful sermon or speech that our own wonderful Dr. Wilson gave about it. And he was the one who pointed this point, who kind of highlighted this point, that true mother proclaimed Heavenly Parent. And again, a lot of people were really kind of bedazzled by it. Sorry, I don't know if I'm using the right word. They were like kind of a little bit shaken because it's against the tradition, right? Heavenly Father, principle says that God is in a position of father and subject to everyone. But she didn't really care about it, and she kept saying, ever since she kept talking about Heavenly Parent. But again, the point that Dr. Wilson highlighted that time, and I really loved it, and of course, yeah, I thought about it myself a lot, right? That God is the Father and Mother, and it means we have parents, we have both, right? Because unfortunately, again, and we know through the history, people did a lot of things in the name of God, seeing God as a king on a throne, as some kind of, again, entity who protects you in the war, right? But they could not, if they would know about this feminine, motherly spirit, then most probably, again, it would be different. Yeah? They could feel themselves in the presence of parents. Yeah. And I feel like, again, through those words that she was speaking at that time, she thought that church is not supposed to be, again, a building when we come because of obligation, because of duty, because we are afraid that we're not going to go in a good place in the spirit world, that God will punish us. But it's supposed to be a home. It's supposed to be a home where we welcome our parents. Yeah? And where love expresses as warmth, patience, nurturing, strength, and mercy. And most importantly, right, again, for training to witnessing, if people feel this kind of love, right, then they want to come. And most importantly, what they feel, it means they would feel the love of Heavenly Parent without even knowing it. Maybe again, before we can brand it for them and put it in words, they will be able to experience the love of Heavenly Parent. And that's why, yeah, the environment that we create every day, whenever we meet with each other, in the church setting like today, or in other informal gathering that we've been having here and there more and more, right? That's what we are creating by listening, by praying, and by choosing choosing to see the beauty, choosing to extend the grace. And this is my personal reflection, that I feel like actually we're on the right track. Yesterday when I was finalizing this sermon, that's what I felt really strongly, that we are on the right track. Because I remembered our meeting at the Korean restaurant, right, on the Heavenly God's Day. Not all of us could come, but a lot of us was there. And I remember me and Paul, we were worried, right, that I don't know, it's an hour drive and if everybody would want to come, but he really wanted to do it and I really wanted to support him. But it was so beautiful to see. There was about 50 people there, right, Paul? But even the whole point, right, how Paul has this card that I want to gather us all together. Don't worry about money, I'll figure it out. I remember he said, I'll figure it out. And he did. And it was a lot of money. But he did it because he wanted to give this gift, right? It was really like beautiful expression of heart. And then we were all together there, celebrating, and they are hearing Cabot sing his song. Then he said he never sang in front of people in his all years of church. I was very honored. It means he feels safe. It means he feels, I want to share with you, and I don't care if I sing on tune. And we didn't, and he sang actually pretty on tune. Right? So, and I feel like that's what happening among us. Maybe we don't realize it sometimes, so we don't think it's a big deal. But I think it is a big deal. It is what we do, and it is from God's eyes, from true parents' eyes, it's a beautiful thing. Right? Again, that we are not connected just by theology, just by common shared experience. And we know a lot of us going through this course, we have a lot of pain, right? We have a lot of things that we regret, despite of our gratitude to being picked up by true parents and have this opportunity to serve. But it's not been easy, right? It took a toll on our personal life, on our relationships with each other, on our relationships with our children, right? So that's why it is beautiful. And again, my personal experience having our group for mothers, it was so beautiful to see those ladies opening hearts to each other. It means that we beginning to trust each other. Because when we are ready to share painful experience, it means we trust each other, right? You will not share something painful or something you regret with somebody you don't feel like you can trust. So that's why I thought it is very beautiful. And recently also I had this experience when one of the people I got to know recently came to me with tears, and like to me and other people, there were a few of us gathered, and this person shared about something very painful that their children shared with them. And this person was, of course, crushed, realizing, oh my gosh, something happened and I didn't know. But I felt again that the beautiful point is that your child is starting to trust you. Before they didn't feel like it, maybe, somehow, right? Of course, mistakenly so, but we know it happens a lot, right? That children don't feel like I can share because I don't know if my parents would understand, or would they judge me, right? Or would they judge me and tell me you brought it to yourself, right? So when they start sharing with us, yes, it's painful. Yes, it sometimes crushes our world, but it means they trust us. It means they're ready to invite us truly into their life if they invite us into the most painful parts of their life. Yeah? And that's why, to kind of going more deeply, a little bit already to the final points, that Foundation Day was the beginning of a new era, right? That was for True Father, that definitely was for True Mother. And again, a lot of times we were not sure what is happening, and maybe we are still not really sure what is happening. But I feel like, again, if this part, this artistic, emotional part, we can catch, right? That it means we can start trusting each other. We can start building these relationships with each other. Yeah, and the idea of heavenly parent is, where we live not as followers of a distant God, right, that kind of judges us or wants us to shape up, but as children building our parents' home on earth. And again, it's never a building. We know that Trumada offered this beautiful building last year, and how much she worked for it and how much she tried to do it. But I don't know, some of us were able to go there. I was lucky, and me and my children were able to go and see this beautiful palace. And when I remember sitting there, and of course, again, like always, there were a lot of commotion. I had to go earlier because on behalf of my husband, I was supposed to receive an award. And like always, like it's a lot of things that not really helping you to become internally peaceful. So, but then when I finally sat down at the ceremony, I was sitting somewhere behind there in Chinori, right? And I looked at the brochure and I started reading, and almost like tears started coming to my eyes, because it said there that Trumada built this place for you, so you can come and meet your parent in the most beautiful environment. So whatever is there, those beautiful columns and white marble and those nice fancy little stores and the beautiful displays, music, it's all for you. So you can meet your parents in a place that is suitable for you, because that's how true parents feel about you. And heavenly parents feel about you. So that's why, maybe to finalize, I would say that Foundation Day is beneath us. It's not behind us that it happened and now we're going and we're not sure if what is happening. We, especially again nowadays in the world, so much mess, right? Wars, all kinds of things, right? So it might feel like, oh, I don't know if it ever actually happened, but it's a foundation. And we know when you build a foundation, it's the longest but the most important part of building a building. But the most importantly, it's the foundation we stand on. And our responsibility is what we build now amongst ourselves with our life. And the environment is still growing, right? Not only beautiful things were created in Champion area, right? And when you go there, it's true. Like I remember Reverend Dunkley was joking, there is more coffee shops than prayer halls. There is one prayer hall and 3 coffee shops. And one of them has beautiful exotic fish. And there's a garden where birds fly around you, right? So it is beautiful, but it's growing everywhere where we are, because we are the blessed families that were birthed through true parents' love. And we have this potential. Right? And we did create a lot of amazing things. It's just like I talked on the last sermon, I believe that we forget sometimes. We see all the imperfections and how much we still have to go. And that's why we start kind of losing the steam. But every time we choose love, we decide to pray for each other, we decided to forgive, see goodness in others, we are building Cholanguk right here, right now. And again, to kind of remind you that we are doing it right now, here. All of you are here. You chose to be here. You could stay in the warm environment. It snowed, right? But you came and you wanted to see each other. And I was so happy to hear from a few people recently, I want to come to church now. I used to come because I have to and I want to honor God, right? But now I want to come. I want to see my brothers and sisters. I want to chat, right? And again, this beautiful thing, even in our community here, I was also moved to tears, but one of the members who really lent a helping hand to a person who was struggling, and he's still doing it until today. He didn't have to, right? You can always say, oh, I have my life, but he just dropped a lot of things and continues to help this person out of the goodness of the heart. Again, not just like, okay, you can stay here, or okay, you can help me. I mean, I can help you a little bit, but just truly like a brother, like a loving elder brother. And again, I don't care how many times this person came to church. I see he's living the truth. He's living the love every day, humbly without expecting any recognition or praise. And this is so beautiful to see. And we have a lot of those gems here, each one of us. Yeah, I want to highlight my beautiful co-pastor that when I was at her home, loving, welcoming home, she showed me, she had this little box for, aluminum foil and parchment paper and something. And I said, oh, it's a very nice thing. So today she brought it for me. She said, you liked it. And I saw it and I thought of you. And I know it's a little thing, right? But I'm thinking, wow, she was thinking about me. She noticed this one phrase I said, and she did it for me. Yeah. So, and those things, that again, I believe, are the things that help us create this environment. So, we're not done yet. So now is an interactive part. I have some reflection questions for us, and there's 3 of them. So we can do pair, share, or trinity, whatever. You can even talk to each other. You can turn around and find a person that you do not live with, and maybe you want to know them a little bit better. And you can choose maybe 1 or 2 questions, yeah, that you want to discuss. First one, is my heart an environment where someone else feels safe to be fully honest? Second, when people encounter me, what do they experience? Grace, peace, trust, anxiety, pressure? And what would change if I chose to love first before explaining or correcting? I know I'm so guilty of this with my kids. I do it all the time. No. I've been trying to work on that. I'm so sorry, my dears. But yeah, when you're frustrated, that's what comes, right? And it's easy again to do it to somebody who you're supposed to educate. So you feel like, why don't you do that? Instead of asking, oh, what happened? Or why didn't you do that? What happened? Maybe you're not feeling good, or maybe you're struggling with something. So again, you can choose any question. You don't have to do all 3. And you don't have to share if you don't want to. Also, there is no pressure. But maybe we'll have 5 minutes to share, and you can again maybe turn around. I suggest you talk to somebody you don't see every day, so it will be more interesting. Yeah. And I'll turn on a light music so we can.